I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Saja Lily. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Lily. The title Saja is, in this case at least, a reference to the Joseon Saja from Korean mythology. They are essentially Grim Reapers.
Oh.
But they're not like, oh, death with a scythe, I've come to take your soul. They are, they're office workers. They handle paperwork and judgment, and it's very boring versions of death. So it's, I think, extraordinarily funny to me.
They're the ones that show up with the clipboards. Okay, let's see what.
Oh, they literally do. They show up to the recently deceased with like a scroll of their life, and they sit them down and they go over everything in their life to determine what happens to their soul.
Oh boy.
Yeah. They're bureaucrats.
That would be something to be banished to. You're going to be a bureaucrat for the rest of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
there was a set of novels by a fellow, and his name escapes me, where he had set up, different things about the devil and God and all this stuff. And one of them was purgatory, and purgatory for them was all paperwork. You had to sit through and go through every single, kind of like what you were saying. You had to go yourself and write out and explain everything, reasons why you did things for your entire life. And with the problem, if you actually ever got done, then you could progress.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's basically the most accurate description of purgatory that I've seen. In terms of like old texts, I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to mythology of basically any kind.
Excellent.
Purgatory, that's supposed to be the place where we don't know where to put you. Figure it out.
Yes. Yes, you're not really, the most evil person, but you really didn't do anything.
Yeah, like, you're not a murderer. You have misgivings about your life. Where do you think you should be? Come on, just talk it through. Purgatory is essentially therapy for the dead.
That's right. It's a place. It's a warehouse where we put you. We don't know where to put you yet.
Oh God, I feel bad for the people who have to work overtime at the purgatory warehouse.
Oh, geez, imagine the folks who are like the janitors. Like, what do you're a janitor in purgatory. That doesn't look good in the resume.
No, but it's got a lot of work experience.
Oh yes. Eons of experience in that sort of thing. And so you like all sorts of mythology then?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I grew up reading like old Norse mythology and Chinese, Japanese, Greek, all sorts of stuff, because it was really interesting and fun. And I liked seeing a lot of like the parallels between different interpretations of the same phenomena and stuff.
The Heracles thing.
Oh, yeah. I used to get so. I used to be really annoying about the whole. Actually, Heracles is Roman, so he wouldn't be dealing with Hades.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I've grown up. I have matured. Disney can get stuff wrong. Yes. I don't care anymore.
Or one of the things that always got me, and people get mad at the old Captain Marvel comics, because Shazam refers to all these different gods, but they're from different mythologies. And like, how? That's not possible. They're not even in the same plane of existence.
Yeah. Yeah, I I because of how much Norse mythology I read and grew up on, I had such a problem originally adapting to like Marvel having Thor
Yep.
and Loki and everything, and I'm
Yep.
like, these aren't the characters. What do you mean that's supposed to be Hela? That's not Hela. She's not supposed to do any of this. No, she's a child.
Yes.
She's a
Mhm.
oh, but yeah,
Don't even get you started on Xena and Hercules on the television. Jimmy Christmas.
hey, look, I watched Xena for entirely different reasons than the mythology.
Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. There's sides to both. And do you think? I know I'm veering way off topic here, but it's my show. I'll do what I want. Um,
Yeah.
the Do you think that a show like that took so much liberty with the original? I mean, is beyond liberty in
Mm.
a lot of cases. Actually helped the people get interested in mythology.
Um, I would say yes. I genuinely I would say yes.
Yeah.
Because I think there are a lot of shows or bits of media
Mhm.
that'll have references to something, and there's always going to be people who will see it and be like, "Oh, that's really cool. I want to learn more about that." And they'll do their research, they'll look into it, and they'll learn a whole bunch of stuff. And they'll be like, "Hey, so maybe it wasn't accurate, but it got me interested in the topic originally."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I always wonder because yeah, you know about it, but it's so far away in a lot of things.
yeah,
Um.
but in a lot of ways, it's like people who read like the Percy Jackson books when they grew up.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them, like, it's not entirely accurate, but it's enough to get people so invested that they go and they read like the older original stuff that it's based on, and they're like, "Oh, this is really cool," and
Yeah.
they still appreciate the interpretations. You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it is interpretations all the way across. I mean, even
Yeah.
even in the cultures, they're interpreted different over the years, aren't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, there was a huge thing in ancient Greece where like Hades, people who worshipped Hades were referred to as a cult.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like a super public thing. Like if you worshipped Hades, like yeah, it was a necessary. You were the person in charge of like the funerary rites and stuff, but you didn't go around being like, "And I'm a priest of Hades," the same way you would about like Zeus or
Yeah.
Hera. You
Yeah.
know, very different ways of handling stuff.
Have to
And if
dress
you were a
differently
priest
and
of Zeus, I do not trust you.
yeah, that would all of that stuff. Zeus. You gotta watch him at all times, and
Yeah,
sometimes even that doesn't help.
yeah. He was being watched basically all of the time, and oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about you, if you look into that for like morality plays, no. And
Yeah.
yeah.
But that is another thing that I really appreciate about mythology, older mythology and polytheistic stuff, is that the gods aren't infallible. They aren't supposed to be moral beacons, you
Right.
know?
Right. Oh
They
yeah.
make mistakes and all the
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. And a lot of the stuff, from what I gather, is apocryphal, obviously, but it's more
Mm.
like something that you can apply to yourself when you hear this tales of these
Hmm.
things. The who is it? Um, the person who's always pushing the rock up the mountain,
Oh, Sisyphus.
Sisyphus. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, oh, well, I can. And there's a lot of ways you can attach that to your life. People would probably doing that all the time.
Hmm.
You can look at your job wherever you're doing 9 to 5, like the trials of Sisyphus. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
or you hear
But,
things like you know, uh, things are Pyrrhic victories, that type of thing.
mhm.
It's all crept into our daily life, even
Yeah.
from all the way back then. We're talking a long time ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, depending on the mythology, some of these, like maybe not for Greek, but some of them were written or even not written, like started being told
Hmm.
like before written languages in a lot
Yeah.
of cases.
Yeah.
Um, and so a lot of the nuance would be lost over time, generation to generation anyway, until someone was able to write it down. But it was like these were just life lessons that had big figures to convey what was going on.
And explained without having to get into the science that they didn't know about yet.
Right, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Like
the
they
sun.
don't know what causes the thunder,
Yeah,
but there's a guy.
yeah. Boom. He just stand.
Exactly. And there you go. That's thunder.
Yeah, the guy standing there just going boom.
I always liked the interpretation that like the rumble that comes before a storm was Thor's laughter. I always loved that
Yeah,
interpretation.
yeah, that was great. And to see, I imagine you know, I'm speaking to the choir, obviously, but when you look at so many different pantheons, I got to
Hmm.
use the word pantheon today.
Yeah,
um,
it's a
of
rare word.
yes, I will use it in Scrabble. The um of gods and sort of thing. Uh, the parallels that you mentioned.
Hmm.
There's usually someone that is the Vulcan in each one. There's someone who is the obviously there's a Zeus or Odin or somebody
Hmm.
that's the head. There's
Hmm.
a Ares and a Hades and
Hmm.
there always seems to be somebody that fills those roles.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like things that just happen to everyone, you know?
Yeah.
Like storms of all kinds, those just happen, right?
Right.
Um, there's always like someone needs to step up and be the leader. They're not always the smartest or the best person for it, but they're the person who will get people to listen to them or the person who can come up with a plan. Um, you know, and so they're naturally those archetypes get filled, and it's always interesting to see the interpretations on what they represent.
Yeah.
Like in Greece, Zeus is the guy that does all the leading, and he's the thunder, he's the storm,
Yeah.
right? He's not smart, but people listen to him and respect him because he's strong, he's powerful,
Yeah.
he's got that kind of like booming voice.
Hmm.
Um, and Odin for the Norse is, the one who leads, and he's not necessarily good,
No.
but he's smart. He's got plans. He kind of knows what to do.
Yeah.
He's the tactics guy.
Yeah.
So, you know,
He's the
that makes
respected
sense.
respected elder leader. That type of
Right.
guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even
Um,
but.
and then like in Egypt, you have the sun,
Uh-huh.
Ra.
Right.
He's the guy that's like he's big and wise, and but even then he's recognized as not always being wise or right, and there are other people who will help and fill things in, because as the sun goes along its journey, it isn't always there for you.
Right, right. It's there. There's sometimes there's night. So what is the sun
Exactly.
doing at that point?
Hmm.
And I wanted to ask you: is all of these tiers, um, do they all necessarily have to be a religion?
um oh god, I have this conversation a lot where I have this really loose definition of what a religion
Uh
is.
huh. It
So
is different for everybody.
I
So
yeah, I think it's very different. It's very personal. So I don't think that they have to be an organized religion.
uh,
But if someone believes in it and it helps them understand the world, I think that's all that it needs to qualify for the basis of a religion, right?
how about
Obviously there needs to be some sort of like honorary stuff
how about
for it to fully be.
maybe better question is: were they always? Do they always have to be worshipped?
Um Not the full pantheon, no.
Yeah.
That would actually be very rare for someone to worship and revere the full pantheon.
Yeah.
But one or two, maybe a handful of them,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, kind of depends on what you do, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it, you for somebody who is just a dabbler or learned whatever we learned back in grade school back in the 1970s, and it's all
Hmm.
come fuzzy. I bet I bet there were times where someone would come up, well, yeah, well, Ferdinand was the god of wine, and both Spain and Egypt, and you just wanted to punch him.
I I never wanted to like make them shut up or anything, but to be fair, I was like the quiet kid in the back of the class, so
Yeah,
people wouldn't come up to me to like talk for the most part anyway.
but were you steaming in the background?
No, no,
Uh,
I would zone out.
oh, well, there you go. At least yeah. There's coping mechanisms for everybody when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah. If it wasn't something I was interested in, I had a really hard time paying attention.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how has this helped you as far as being a streamer goes? I mean, if you were in the back of the class and not getting a lot of attention, well, now you're getting attention and potentially from a few billion people who have devices.
Yeah. Hey, so that's terrifying to think about, but hey, like, yeah. I think generally being that like weird kid on the outside helped me because I grew up with that feeling of being like the weird outsider and not really knowing where I fit in.
Hmm.
Um, and part of one of like the big things that I try to do or want to do with like my community or my stream is giving people a place to fit in and feel like they can talk about what they're passionate about, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Well, that
Um,
makes sense. I mean, th- um, you want to have the comfort in there too, but you want other people to experience as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I want it to be fun. I want
Mhm.
it to be a thing that people eventually, recognize as like, oh, you could just be nerdy and have interests in things and talk about what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people think that you can't because it's I don't know like cringe or whatever people call it now.
Right.
But
Right.
like cringe is just having fun, honestly. And as long as you're not hurting anyone or insulting people, you should be able to have fun.
Well, that's a lot of things, isn't it? I mean, it's I enjoy um certain types of music that my wife doesn't
Hmm.
enjoy, and she'll tell me when I start playing it. But and she might think that's cringe. Well, there's a lot of things that she likes that I think is cringe.
Yeah.
Even then, you know, if somebody's enjoying it and it's not hurting you, then go find someplace else to play.
Yeah. Like not everything is going to be for everyone, but
Yeah.
finding the things that you enjoy is more important than judging other people for stuff you don't enjoy.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Here, the V-tubing sphere right now, and the entire um, concept. You can, if you don't like, say, if somebody uh, comes to your feed and for some reason just isn't having a good time,
Hmm.
which by the way, you're going to have a good time if you go to their feed. Um, that free commercial for you. Um, the
Thank you.
uh, there's other places they can go to find something else that's more their style. I mean, there's
Yeah.
plenty of people you can watch play Minecraft at any particular time. Maybe
Yeah.
that's more your style. Heck, you can go watch the old Game Grumps channel that's on 24/7. I know I've had that in the
Hmm.
background occasionally
Hmm.
when things are going, like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that. There's something for you to enjoy, but there's no reason to leave a pipe bomb as you go.
Right? Yeah. Like you can not enjoy something, but you don't have to tell the person like, "Hey, I don't like this. I'm leaving." Like, okay. It's a little bit rude. It's the equivalent of a first time chatter glitter bomb.
Yes,
So,
yeah, or coming over to a cookout and then right there in somewhat near the end, walking up to, by the way, those hot dogs were terrible, and just leaving.
yeah,
You still
like
ate them,
I didn't bring my own food,
yeah.
but your food was bad.
It was terrible. I don't even know who you are, but you can leave now. It's
Yeah.
but or yeah, heck, start your own channel if you don't like it. I mean, that's
hmm
a lot of people do it that way. How did you get the idea to start your channel?
Um, so there were like a bunch of different things over time. I'd tried a long time ago. Like, I think, okay, well, maybe not a long time ago for some people, but like in 2013, I tried to do YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, but it wasn't necessary. I was really shy. I didn't know what to say. I didn't have the patience to really edit things, so that didn't work out.
Right.
And later on, um, because of certain medical complications, I realized that finding a normal job was going to be nigh impossible.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, well, I'll try streaming
Yeah.
because it's a way to get a little bit of socialization.
Right.
I can try and capitalize on stuff that I do anyways through like playing games and just talking to people.
Yeah.
Um, and it didn't really work out, and that kind of bummed me the first time that I tried.
Uh-huh.
But that was before VTubing was like had like kicked off.
Right.
And then I saw some VTubers and I was like, oh, this is really cool. But I didn't decide to really give it another go until I saw Zentrea.
Uh-huh.
And I had started watching her when she was doing like Doom playthroughs, and she would have to like pause the game to type on a notepad to talk because she didn't have a TTS yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, if she can put in the effort to do that, I think I can do something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You talk
and
about somebody who's
it took,
you talk about somebody who's tenacious.
yeah,
You're not going to outwork that person.
yeah, yeah. And obviously it took a while for me to get like the hardware to be able to stream,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
But you still had to overcome, you know, or being the person in the back of the classroom that people weren't paying attention to. Um, and now you're going to be near the front of the classroom.
Yep. Um, yeah. So it wasn't. I. I'm trying to figure out how to really say this without it seeming weird, but it wasn't necessarily that people were avoiding me because like, oh, I was just shy and nobody knew who I was. People like knew who I was. There just weren't many people who shared a lot of the same interests, and people had stopped trying to like pick on me,
Uh-huh.
which I was glad that
Yeah.
they stopped trying to pick on me.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to figure out why for certain groups. But looking back at like the sequence of events of what happened, I understand now why a lot of people decided to pull back and not really. So I don't know if you know. I don't live there anymore, so I'm fine saying this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Charlestown at all. Like it's a neighborhood in Boston.
No, I do. Don't. That I don't know that neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Um, it was known for a very long time. Not really when I was growing up. It was starting to lose that stereotype, but it was known as like the place in Boston where like organized crime came out of
Oh, okay.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So like dockyard workers that stood against the police, and one of them still had a harpoon gun that people were like, "Hey, don't go down this area
Yeah.
because he's there."
Indeed.
Um,
Yes.
there was like it was like people didn't talk about it out loud, but you knew which stores not to walk in front of because they were fronts.
Yeah.
There was a kid who got killed in a drive-by because he was trying to sell in front of a front.
Uh,
Really bad idea.
yeah. Not exactly a brainiac move. There.
No,
No.
but there was a time where, like, bullying was really bad,
Mm.
and it got to a point where I ended up getting suspended along with the person that was bullying me.
Uh-huh.
And after that, so there was a guy who came to me at like 5 in the morning at the train station while I was on my way to school. And he was in he was smartly dressed, right?
Yeah.
Iron suit. He had like the vest over it,
Yeah.
hat, gloves, shiny shoes, and everything.
Yes.
Sits down next to me, slides a business card.
Yes.
It just says, "So and so told me about what you've been going through. If you ever need help, if you ever need someone to like make stuff stop happening, you call that number." I did not pick up the card,
I,
but you know, I took someone to middle school dance, and her father was outside in a car that had blacked out windows that I had to talk to him from the while he was in the back seat, and he did not make eye contact.
yes.
So there were a couple of people that I knew who had connections
Yes.
that were
People who knew people who knew people. That type of thing.
yeah. If you ever had something go missing, you go talk to this guy,
Yeah.
you tell him what went missing, you get it back the next day.
That's
That
right.
was the kind of stuff that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And so it was like,
Yeah. Yeah. That was, as tempting as it may have been at the time.
yeah, no, I would.
In some sort of alternate universe, you're like, but no, to come out of that sort of background to be the type of person you are now, and it, how do you feel? Are you pleased with where you are now? I mean, that's quite an experience to come from.
It varies day to day, but
Mm,
that's kind of just how life is.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Generally, though, I'm happy that my art has gotten a little bit more traction,
mm,
and people are liking that.
mm.
I'm glad that there are people who know me as the person that you mention Naruto, and I will go on a 30-minute talk about just random obscure character
Yeah,
or thing that happened, because Naruto probably the most formative show for me.
yeah, yeah.
And I would honestly say if I hadn't watched Naruto, I would not be here doing what I am.
Well, I talk about a lot of people who are, and I do believe it in your case as anybody else's, that are not the product of their surroundings, but are the triumph that emerges from those surroundings.
Mm,
And
mm.
it seems like you've gone out of your way to make sure that's true.
Yeah, yeah. I at one point like really thought about, well, why am I doing this? What is like the thing that I'm trying to be,
Uh-huh.
right? And what it really boiled down to for me was I don't really care how much attention I get or how big or how popular or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
Um, as long as there's like, as long as I can be there to like show people that you can still do it,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, I just want to be the person that I would have needed when I was younger.
That's cool. That's great to have and harken back to where you were, and you don't want other people to go through that. And
Yeah.
that's really that says a lot about you and your character. So you keep going, and I'm If no one else is proud of you, I'll be proud of you for doing that sort of thing. Um, is-
Well, appreciate that.
and I got to ask you something about your voice.
Yeah.
There's no Boston in it. How did that happen?
So, my mother tried really hard to let me not like grow up with an accent
Hmm.
because so there's the big Boston accent that's around, and I do still have that sometimes. It is a little bit of a conscious effort that I make to suppress it.
Yeah. If
Um,
you're around other people from the area, you're going to. I don't care who
oh,
you are. It's
absolutely.
automatically going to switch in.
Right. But there were so many people that I grew up around who were like first generation Irish.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people who was raising me was from Oklahoma. One of
Mm-hmm.
them was from like Connecticut.
Whoa.
My mother had grown up all over the place. And so her pronunciation was all over. Um, and so it was like, I think the actual thing that made her decide that we needed to work on me not getting an accent was I thought that the name Arthur and the job author, not I didn't just think they were pronounced the same. I thought they were the same word.
Yeah, yeah. I can.
And so whenever someone would correct me, it would and be like, no, 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 it's author. It was all of a sudden, okay, well, it's Arthur the Aardvark now.
Yes. The Oddbach. That sort of thing. Yes.
Yep,
Uh,
yep.
I was absolutely. Of course, I always, you know, doing the radio thing for so many years. I always concentrate on people's voices and how they come across. And the fact that you were born and raised there and don't have the stereotypical or even really a hint of it when you're concentrating on it is pretty amazing. That tells me that maybe you could do some voice work. Have you ever thought about that?
So, fun fact. There are three jobs that I wanted when I was a kid.
Hmm.
I wanted to do voice work.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a clown.
Okay.
Yep, that one's,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah. And so if you could just find something that combined all three, you'd have been in radio and
Well,
making no
I
money.
mean, combining all three of them, I'm a little bit of a jester. That's basically what being a streamer is.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I do funny voices all the time because hey, people get a laugh out of it.
Yeah.
So I do technically use my voice for some of the work, and I do art all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's growing up as somebody who enjoyed art in a situation like that, was that rough on you?
um
Or was it appreciated?
oh it was a little bit of both, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um there were I had a lot of support
Mm.
um from some people in my family about like wanting to do art.
Yeah.
Um there were definitely other people around who, may have said a couple of things because I was like, "Oh, I want to be an artist. I don't want to be people laugh, and I want to be a clown." Never tell people that you want to be a clown if you want people to respect you, by the way.
Yes. Yes. And no. People look like their
Um,
eyes get real big, like, what?
yeah, I genuinely never understood why people were afraid of clowns. I think I kind of understand it now, and it goes to Stephen King, "You hack, I will never forgive you."
Yes.
Um, but
Now you're attacking your fellow New Englanders there. I mean, come on.
hey, he left. He abandoned us.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Uh, but yeah, it's yeah, and it's kind of a trope now, that sort of thing. But um,
Yeah.
that that also doesn't seem to add up to you being in the back of the class and not wanting to step up when you know clowns do not stay in the back of anything, even the little cars at the circus.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You could say you know, I don't quite understand fully either, but
You are a riddle and an enigma wrapped in one.
yes. I mean, Yeah, oh God, sorry, you said riddle and an enigma, and now I'm stuck on Edward Nigma,
That's right. That's
the real name
that's
of
right.
the Riddler.
The
I'm
Riddler.
ooh
You are the
ooh.
Riddler.
People talk. I'm the Rid. It's me, the Riddler.
Yes.
Pass my riddles, and I'll tell you where the trophy is, Batman.
The trophy's over
No,
there.
I. No,
No.
don't look at that.
Yeah.
Answer my riddles.
Yes. Well, the answer is the
Uh,
trophy's over there.
God, I love Batman. Sorry,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm.
yeah, I grew up with like the Batman, like Brave and the Bold, and like Justice League America and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
which, oh my God, if you've ever seen Justice League America and you know Aquaman from that specifically, I
Yes.
think that is peak Aquaman.
Yep. Yep.
Just boisterous himbo.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. A little known fact. I don't think I've mentioned to anybody. I have the entire Nightfall series.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yes, it's put away along with the Death of Superman series. I have it put away.
Mm,
That will
mm-hmm.
that will go to the grandchildren. Thank you very much. Um,
Nice.
yeah, that was I enjoyed that. I'm a DC kid in a
Mm-hmm.
world of Marvel. I
Yeah,
yeah, I'm like no,
yeah.
no, I want to see the Booster Gold movie.
Oh my God. No, like a good Booster Gold adaptation would be phenomenal because I think that Booster Gold's character arc, like his general arc,
Yeah,
is really good and people need more of that. We
yeah,
need more of that, like superheroes being inspirational again.
yeah, yeah. Even if they're dumb as posts sometimes.
Hey, them being dumb as a post, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like, as long as they're inspirational. All of my favorites are really dumb.
Yeah. Hey, at least Guy Gardner's in a movie, okay? Yeah, they got to.
Oh, uh, the, the Guy Gardner representation for my city, finally. Because, yes, we will use a baseball bat.
Yes.
Um,
And so saying that, did you play Fallout 4?
did I play Fallout 4? Technically, yes. And
Yeah.
it, I will say, is a little bit creepy how accurate some of the buildings were. Um,
That's me right there. What the
okay, so it wasn't accessible where like the area where I grew up wasn't accessible, but yeah, there were like Swan, the big giant mutated behemoth in
Yeah,
the lake.
yeah,
I went there and I was like, what do you mean? I used to come here as a kid all the time where they broke all of the like boats, really?
yes.
Man. And like Faneuil Hall, where all of the, like the comic shops and stuff were.
Yeah.
Used to be able to go there and see like there would be like 4 or 5 street performers at a time.
Yeah.
That was probably why I wanted to be a clown because I saw so many of them out there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, obviously you're creative. I mean, it comes out when you talk about it, and you could hear the excitement in your voice when you're talking about these things. Whether it was when we were talking about the mythology earlier, or talking about DC Comics for crying out loud, or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, are you the type of person that really throws yourself into things once you're settled?
Um, Sort of.
Well,
Um, if I really like something, it'll be hard for me to not constantly talk about and do stuff with that.
so yes is the
Uh,
answer.
yeah, yeah, I,
Confess.
yeah, a couple of years ago I was diagnosed as autistic,
Yeah.
and the words from my psychiatrist were, I don't know why this isn't already on your sheet, I'm putting it down.
We're just now finding out. I mean, even now, where the levels of this,
Hmm.
and when I grew up in the '70s and early '80s, that word wasn't even around.
Yeah.
And there were so many people I grew up with that probably would have been helped by the treatments they have now.
Yeah.
That were just kind of warehoused back then.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's just, it's
Yeah.
just terrible. That when I think back on that, but even for you, you got that diagnosis later in life, I imagine.
Hmm.
Um, was that a relief to you to know that, or were you angry that you
It's
didn't get diagnosed earlier?
so it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Um, it's a relief because at least it explains a lot. But it is like, if it was so obvious, why did no one tell me earlier? You know?
Mm.
Granted, I probably could have figured it out myself. But like, you don't look back at your own actions to, okay. So I don't look back at my own actions to psychoanalyze myself. I do that to other people.
Well, that's the fun.
um, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not fun to look at yourself and do that. It's more fun to do for other people.
God, self-reflection? No, that's
No,
scary.
no, no, no. None of that here. Not allowed.
No, you should reflect on yourself. That's a very important thing to do.
No, I've broken every mirror in this house, and I'm not about to fix them. Not, no reflections at all on me, believe me. Um,
Uh,
there's a reason why I was in radio, and it wasn't because of my voice. Um, so with when you got a chance to do this VTuber thing, and you had it, you were able to get an avatar, and you turn the microphone on. Was it comfortable for you knowing that they didn't see your face, but you could still kind of be yourself on the air?
Sort of. It did take a while for me to fully be comfortable.
No.
Um, and I would say that there were a lot of people along the way who helped me realize that I should be more comfortable with being openly me.
Uh-huh.
Um, I used to be so reserved on stream. I used to like I would still swear,
Yeah.
but I used to like try not to swear. I tried putting on like a little bit more of like an excited voice all the time.
Yeah.
I tried doing like I tried avoiding like adult topics. I
Yeah.
don't do any of that anymore.
Yeah.
I've been called out by so many people for the way I've been banned from having a boyfriend because people are concerned about my taste in men.
Now that is a chat for you.
I yeah, I've done a couple of like hear me out kind of things.
Yes.
And I think the one that always confuses people. So there's this character in League of Legends whose name is Aatrox.
Mhm.
And when I say hear me out, I like Aatrox. People are like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. He's like big, tall,
Yeah.
demon guy. He's
Yeah.
like 10 feet tall. He's got the wings, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, no, no. You don't understand. That's not Aatrox. Aatrox is the sword. Aatrox is the sword with the living, beating flesh heart in the center of it. That when you touch it, he takes over the wielder's body and forms it into his avatar. I
Ah.
like that guy, not the devil thing that you look at.
Oh. Yeah. I can see why they get a little concerned about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's okay because
everybody's got their own tastes, I guess.
hey, it's fine. I'll be okay. I'm right where I want to be. But yeah, like, and that's about right for that.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's good to have that sort of connection, isn't it, to your chat? I mean, there,
yeah,
it really does. It really does mean that you've made a connection more than, hey, come watch me play, Five Nights at Freddy's.
yeah, yes. I'm, I am very glad that I've made some of the connections that I have.
Yeah.
Not just with chat, but with like other VTubers and other streamers.
Yeah.
Um, there's some really cool people that I've met, and I love to torment them with little weird things that I make them watch.
Gremlin time.
Yeah. I don't know if you you so I know that you interviewed my friend Canabeth.
Yes, absolutely. Just very
I
recently.
I interrupted one of her streams the other day
Yeah.
at the beginning while she was just chatting to make her watch a video called Deku Popeyes on stream. And hey, it was great. It was great. I think she reconsidered calling me her friend at that point.
You started seeing the little red notes when you tried to call them up. Blocked. Blocked.
Uh
Yeah.
no, she'd never block me. She'd lose all of that whimsy.
She needs my whimsy.
Exactly. That's how I keep bringing my friends back. They need the chaos. They need the whimsy.
Well,
You know, the first joke is free. The rest of it you pay for with your soul.
that's right. That's right. You go to purgatory for that. Um,
Exactly.
so now that you've got a base and you've got people who are
Mhm.
coming back and people who are concerned and you've got a really good relationship.
Mhm.
Would you, if the prior you, would they be utterly surprised that you've been able to put together something like this, or would they say, "Yeah, that's what I wanted in the first place"?
Hmm. So that's a complicated question.
Yes.
um, would prior me there'd probably be part of me that was like, hell yeah, you did it
Uh-huh.
to an extent.
Uh-huh.
There'd probably be quite a bit of surprise, but not about like, wow, you actually did it. More just like, what? What are you saying?
Who are
What are
you?
these words that you're using?
Who are you again?
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I, I think, I think a younger me would be happy with where we are. Um, but definitely also probably like hand on my shoulder, like, hey, it's gonna be okay. You'll get through whatever this is.
At least on a hand on your shoulder, say, "Hey, it's a sword with a heart."
Yeah, it's a sword with a heart. I can touch his heart, and that's all I really want.
Isn't that all anybody really wants?
Exactly. They always listen. They always told me that the fastest way to a man's heart was through the rib cage.
Yes, it is. And sometimes it's through the back, depending on how you're stalking them.
Yeah, well, okay. I wouldn't call it stalking. It's just walking closely behind them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's talk tomato tomato. It's just that sort of thing. And
Yeah, but it's got connotations,
yeah,
right?
it's as long as they don't have the order of protection, you're perfectly fine. Um,
Exactly.
and I work at a police station, so I know what I'm talking about as far as that goes. Uh, absolutely amazing to talk with you, and I could keep talking and keep going because you are an amazing conversationalist, and
Thank
the
you.
and incredibly interesting, and I can see why people are enjoying themselves in your streams. I'm glad you've got this channel to not just. I didn't even get to talk about your artwork at all, which I really wanted to do. But we're going to have links that you can explore Lily's artwork and everything
Mhm.
in the description for the video. Thank you so much for coming on, and please keep doing what you're doing because it's really good stuff.
Of course, and thank you for having me on. I would like to say, though, please, if you do want to like check out my art and stuff, please be over 18. I have my stuff marked for over 18 everywhere.
Yes,
Just just don't be under 18,
yes,
please.
yes, yes. If you're listening to this too, this is supposed to be 18 over. So I mean, if I say
Yeah,
We say words that you shouldn't know yet, unless you're a golfer.
exactly.
If you're a golfer, you
No,
can learn them very early. Um, that's what
exactly.
that's what the whole game is about. Hopefully, we can catch you up again here real soon. And thank you so much for being on again.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.